going to go through because it needs to. It has to. US Cellular doesn't want to be in business anymore. They don't. So this is kind of how it goes. Unfortunately, nobody goes out of business anymore. They get bought out. So
yep.
There we go.
Yeah. As I said, I don't like that it's happening like this, but I think it's going to happen like this.
But there is a chance from that interview that certain deals could be blocked by the FTC. Right? And I'm just saying that from that very blatant statement, right, of we can't allow companies that are already monopolies to become bigger monopolies. It paraphrased, right? But my point is that statement is now in jeopardy for the Frontier merger with Verizon.
No, it's not.
And I'll tell you why. Because Verizon buying out another company is like, okay, if Verizon wanted to do this, they could. As in they could, accelerate their fiber expansion, paying more money. But instead, they're already a large company now, and they're going to become even bigger. That's the same ideology that he's trying to prevent.
It doesn't make Verizon a monopoly. Not even close.
I appreciate that.
Verizon and Frontier are two U.S. companies.
And it doesn't make Verizon a monopoly. Not even close. So
they're also communications companies, and they're not big tech companies, as MS stated.
Mm-hmm.
Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile combined don't touch as many consumers as Google, for example. So I don't think that the telecom industry is in the crosshairs of what President-elect Trump was alluding to when he said that. If anything, Chairman Carr, the leaders in Washington, D.C., especially under Trump, they want the telco companies to be stronger because they're still trying to compete for 5G supremacy, which I expect America and the American telecom industry to be able to achieve and maintain sustainably. But they're going to need to allow things like this to happen, and they need a fully functioning FCC with spectrum authority to be able to serve the American people the way that they need to be served. And this is the start of it. So the Frontier deal will go through, as will this deal. It'll happen.
Moose, you're on the spot. Speed Test Channel says T-Mobile buying Charter based on what Moose is saying.
Yeah, that's the other one. That's the other one. But here's the crazy part, though. In order for that to happen, more than likely T-Mobile is going to have to be bought out. The shares of Deutsche Telekom are going to have to be bought out.
Right, but it's not going to happen.
Because it's either Comcast or it's Spectrum, Charter Spectrum. So that's what's going to happen eventually. Remember, we've talked about this in very big detail about what's going to happen there. Something's going to happen there. But the other thing too is so let me just pivot just slightly. The FTC suing Google and the divestiture of Google, I believe, is still going to happen. So the first domino to fall with Google is the Chrome browser. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to give that up very soon. And then number two,
they'll just make another one.
I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But number two is all the payments that Google gives AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon to force all Android phones to exclusively use Google search. Same thing with Apple, right? Apple got a big, significant billions in payment. That's also going to go away. Mozilla Firefox is going to go out of business because 90% of their revenue came from that provision from Google. Damn, this has been fully documented.
Firefox, I ain't heard that in a minute. Good point, Moose.
They are literally on record. They literally laid off a significant portion of their staff because they know that this FTC thing is serious, and all the payments that Google was getting are gone after this FTC ruling.
So I think that everything that Moose is saying makes perfect sense. It really, really does, and that's why I don't think it's going to happen. I think that a lot of what Trump is saying sounds really good, but if he actually goes through with what he's saying, it'll be like the most anti-Republican thing I've ever seen. I mean, when have they ever been interested in breaking up companies? That's not really a Republican thing. So
maybe Trump's moderate, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, even moderate Republicans haven't really been clamoring to break up companies, at least not at scale. So, I mean, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. It makes too much sense for it to happen, at least not under Republican control. Maybe if the Democrats are able to win in 2028, maybe it happens then. But I don't think this is high on Trump's radar. He seems to want, if anything, to stimulate the economy, not keep big businesses from getting even bigger and becoming more dominant on the international scale.
Yeah, but his ways of doing it are going to be, different, non-associated with these particular moves.
Yeah, I think I think there's truth to that, Sneed, but I just don't see President-elect Trump prioritizing breaking up Google. I just don't see it.